Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious bread bowl without a stand mixer. My inspiration for this bread is a sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is made with a starter. The starter consists of water and flour, which stands outside for about 3 to 4 days until it develops that delicious flavor and aroma that we know of from sourdough bread. I'm going to combine these ingredients but only leave it out for about 4 hours. In those 4 hours, the consistency you'll see changes to kind of a gelatin-like consistency, and I already have a delicious sourdough flavor, but not as intense. Now to the rest of the ingredients. I have 2 packs of yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of potato flour, 1 teaspoon of oregano, cumin, and garlic powder, and 2.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, the starter we just created, lukewarm water, and of course some flour. I begin by activating the yeast, which means just adding the yeast to the sugar and some lukewarm water, stirring, and then waiting about 5 minutes until the surface becomes foamy. Perfect. Then I combine all of the dry ingredients. So I'm going to add in the potato flour, the oregano, cumin, garlic powder, and salt to the flour and mix with a fork. To this, I'm going to add all of the wet ingredients. So this is the starter we just created, the yeast, and the vegetable oil. And last but not least, the remainder of the lukewarm water. You won't need a KitchenAid for making this bread. I'm just going to combine everything with a fork and then knead it for about 1 to 2 minutes, no more. You're going to be tempted to add more flour because it's pretty sticky, but don't do that. Leave it as is, knead it to the best that you can, and then wrap it with some foil and let it sit for about 90 minutes. I'm going to show you what it looks like after each of the 30 minutes have passed. So here it is after 30 minutes, after an hour, and an hour and a half. Let's get started with the rest of the steps. This recipe makes 4 bread bowls, so I'm going to divide this dough into 4 balls. At this stage, I've added some flour to my surface area and also to my hands, and now I'm just creating the balls to the best that I can. To ensure that the bread bakes evenly in the oven, I stretch the surface and then I push all of the dough into the bottom of the ball. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you watch what I'm doing, I'm essentially just pulling the surface and then really pressing the bottom as tightly as I can. Now I'm going to line these up on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and make sure that you leave enough space between the breads because they're about to grow even further. So I'm going to let them sit outside for about 20 minutes. And here are the beauties after 20 minutes. To make sure that my bread gets a really beautiful color, I've combined 1 egg with 1 tablespoon of water and I'm brushing that onto the surface of the bread. And then these beauties go into the oven, which is already preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, and they're going to bake for 35 minutes. And this is what they look like after 35 minutes. I hope you give these bread bowls a try. Let me know if you like this recipe by giving this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more delicious recipes from me. Thank you for watching and see you next time.